Hi, this is Mike Filsame, and in this series of free video episodes, my business partner Chris Farrell and I are going to introduce you to Affiliate Marketing 2.0. Because the fact is, affiliate marketing, as most people know it, has died a slow, controversial death. But in order to get real value from this information, you're going to need to temporarily forget what you remember or have heard until now about affiliate marketing, or what I like to call old school affiliate marketing. Because the fact is, the way it was taught just a few years ago just doesn't work anymore, period. So in this first video, Chris and I are going to tell you about a proven tactic called relationship ROI, which will completely change how your affiliate marketing business works. In fact, it's going to change how every successful affiliate marketer markets online. Now, I'm talking about a fundamental change all the way down to the core, so you'll need to have an open mind in order to make this work for you. We're also going to talk about an enhanced affiliate revenue model called serial cycle income. This is a profit layering technique that has built 4-figure per day affiliate commissions out of tiny little niches and can do the same for anyone that follows the blueprint. But these tiny little niches are used as gateways to vast, highly profitable markets, but without all the cutthroat competition. Serial cycle income is designed to build a solid foundation, a real sustainable business from keywords that have just 100 searches per day. And in the next episode, Chris and I will give you some real options for driving both free, super targeted traffic and advanced, demographically and topically specific premium traffic to your offers. So in the next few minutes, I want you to go out on a limb with us. I promise you that this will be an excellent use of your time. We've got a lot of pure content training to share with you, content and instruction that could dramatically change your perspective on affiliate marketing. Why? Because Chris and I are going to show you how we've built the strongest, most profitable affiliate marketing business model that we've seen online. This isn't some black hat voodoo or exploitation of a loophole. Affiliate Marketing 2.0 is all about structuring amazing no-risk offers, creating authority relationships, and leveraging traffic sources that are powered by the social fabric of the web. And we're going to start right from the beginning, from when Chris was pulling down exactly $0 per day and guide you right up to his personal best of $24,231 in one day. Now don't get me wrong, that was a great and record-setting day for Chris. It really was his personal best, but on a daily basis, without all those big hits, Chris still averages $1,450 a day and has been doing so for the last 7 months. So I want to start this part of the video by introducing Chris and make Chris show you some proof.
Now, before I jump in, I'd like to quickly flag up a few things that some may find helpful. I was brand new, literally brand new to all this not all that long ago in 2008. And like many people starting in the internet business, I knew nothing about the web or computers when I started. I remember I could use Google, I could send emails, I could use Word. That was pretty much it. What I did have though was this burning white passion, if you like, to really learn this business and to make it work for me. And now, as I make this video for you here, 2 years on, almost 2 years after I started, I'm making 4 figures a day all online. Now, I should just quickly quantify this and say it certainly was not this way from the start. In fact, what I'd like to do before we really get into the meat and the bones of this is go back to 2008. In fact, 5 months after I started, let's look at my income online right now. And as you can see here, absolutely nothing.
And that's because?
It's because I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, I suspect, the majority of newcomers online. I was hop, skipping and stumbling around online, never seeing anything through to completion. I was your classic opportunity seeker. And I needed to address this. I realized early on that I was an opportunity seeker. I acknowledged this about myself and I stopped behaving in this way and I became what I like to describe as a strategic thinker. I stopped confusing activity for action. And what I started doing was focusing on teaching myself new skills one at a time, understanding these skills, implementing these skills, and then I began to see results. It was an incredible thing. One thing that I have learned, if I kind of had to sum all this up, one thing I have learned is that making money online is a skill, just like any skill, whether it's cooking or football or sailing or learning a new language. And just like any skill, it's learnable. That is what a skill is. Making money online is no exception. So after 5 months, let's jump on a little bit. Let's look at month 6 now. Now, the reason it took me 6 months before I made an income was because I was like most newcomers. I was in this fog. And I'm sure many watching this video can relate to this. Information overload. It drove me insane. It took me almost 6 months to figure out how this business works. And I went through that phase of kicking the computer in frustration, going to bed at 2 a.m., my wife going to bed alone. What was I supposed to do and in what order? And it took me 6 months until I finally worked it all out.
At this point, 6 months in, your income was still pretty erratic. And I know you were learning the ropes and experimenting, and also doing one of my favorite sayings, failing forward. So what did you do that started stabilizing your income to make it more dependable?
Well, it still took a few more months of testing and tweaking until, let me show you here. The daily income here pretty much kept climbing on from this point. And that's because I made some rules for myself about how I was going to become a marketer. And my first rule was to create a set of processes that forced me to do only a very few specific things that layered on more revenue. What I mean by that is everything from market selection to your very first no-brainer offer, all the way through to understanding the power of repeat sales. Everything I learned to do built on the last thing that I did. So as a result, each tactic got stronger and showed more results as I progressed. I've always loved that expression, systems work. It's people that fail.
Chris, the first question I have is, what kind of entrepreneur does your strategy work for?
I'm one of these people. I really need to have new things explained to me systematically, step by step, have my hand held, if you like. That's how I learn. So my strategy really is for you if you're watching this and you like to understand something before you then go and implement it, building things, creating things. I'm also not talking about just building instant profit. Of course, obviously that's nice. But what I'm talking about is long-term, reliable, regular profit, something that we call serial cycle income. That's really what we're after, isn't it? So the biggest requirement is to do the steps in order, because each single step really leverages the power from the step before. And I've tested this, Mike. I've done things out of order and the results haven't been as impressive.
One of the things that Chris and I discuss is the very first and most important step, and that's market research. I've heard dozens of ways to find a niche market, but we both have some strong opinions about this.
Yes, we do. And I'd like to introduce you to something that we call side door selection. In fact, let me quickly spend 30 seconds explaining how to make money online. I wish when I began somebody had broken this down for me in a simple and easy to understand manner. Making money online starts with choosing a profitable market. That's where we begin, not just a profitable product to promote, unlike what a lot of people do. So we start with a market, then we build a list interested in this profitable market. Now note, we haven't made any money yet, but then and only then do we choose the product. We don't start with a product though. This is where a lot of people make a mistake when they begin. We start by finding a group of rabid, of hungry, of enthusiastic buyers interested in a particular market, and we then enter into that market with an amazing, with a zero risk, with a highly valuable offer. But there's an important set of criteria so you can do this and create fast income and long-term wealth building. Let me give you an actual example. It's always easier, I feel, to actually have an illustration to follow. I've had very satisfying and profitable success selling digital photography products. Now, the digital photography market is gigantic, but what I did is I broke into that market through the side door, if you like. The market for digital photographers is truly massive. In fact, if you go to Google, there's over 169 million pages for the search term digital photography.